This is SPM 2020 question number 2, Perkongsian Sita dan Tan. Let us read the requirement first as usual before we go into the details of the question. Anda dikehendaki menyediakan akaun realisasi, realization account, akaun semasa perkongsi, partner's current account, berangan, that means on debit side, we will draw columns for the different partners, same for the credit side of the T account. Yeah? Account modal perkongsi, partner's capital account, berangan, same, multiple columns on debit and credit side for the respective partners, and account bank. So with this in mind, let us read through the details of the question. Perkongsian Sita dan Tan berkongsi untung rugi dengan nisbah 3:2. Okay. Maklumat berikut diperoleh daripada buku perkongsian Sita dan Tan pada 31st Julai 2020. Aset bukan semasa, there's logi dan mesin. Aset semasa, inventory, account belum diterima. Account belum terima. Aset semasa, inventory, and account belum terima. Equity dan liability, modal Sita, modal Tan, account semasa Sita, account semasa Tan. Liability semasa account belum bayar and bank overdraft. This one means bank overdraft here. So liability semasa. Jumlah equity dan liability. Alright. Pada 31st Julai 2020, Perkongsian Sita dan Tan bercadang membubarkan perkongsian mereka. They're going to dissolve the partnership. Berikut adalah maklumat yang perlu diambil kira semasa proses pembubaran. Inventory diambil alih oleh perkongsian dengan nilai 7,500. Perbelanjaan pembubaran is 1,260 dibayar menggunakan cek. Diskaun diterima daripada pembekal is 140. Akaun belum bayar dijelaskan dengan cek. So akaun belum bayar, you get a discount of 140. So the check amount will be 13,100 minus 140. So credit the bank with only 12,960. Okay. Logi dan mesin dijual dengan harga 61,900. Okay. Account belum terima Jane sebanyak 260 dianggap sebagai hutang lapor. Account belum terima yang lain dijelaskan menggunakan cek. So account belum terima, there's a 260 hutang lapor never collected. The rest will be banked in. So the rest is the difference, 17140 minus 260. So 16,880 is received into the bank. All right. So with that in mind, let us prepare our answer for A, B, C, and D. Continue. We prepare our realisasi. All the assets in the business, right? Since they are going to bubarkan, dissolve. Since they're going to dissolve the partnership, all the assets in the business will transfer to account realisasi. So the double entry is, this is a debit balance, logi dan machine, right? So we will credit account logi dan machine to debit account realisasi. So the dissolution date is 2020, 31st July. Okay, so on July 31st, you credit logi dan mesin, debit to account realisasi. So the cost of logi dan machine is 54540. Same for the other assets, inventory. Account belum terima. Okay. Then we get this ready. Account modal Sita, account modal Tan. Account modal Sita, account modal Tan is baki bawah-bawah on the credit side. 31st July. SITA is 30,000. TAN is 25,000. Right? Account model Perkongsi. We also prepare accordingly. SITA has a credit balance of 11,420. Right? TAN has a debit balance. This bracket means debit balance. Account semasa Perkongsi TAN. Okay, so since the partnership is going to be dissolved, we are not going to keep account semasa. We transfer everything into account modal. So in this case of Perkongsi Sita, right, the baki bawah-bawah is here. We will credit to bring to account modal TAN, to account modal Sita. This is a baki bawah-bawah, so we debit here. So this close off account modal Sita. $11,050, right? So over here, SITA account model will increase by $11,020. Same for model TAN. Model TAN is a keep our on debit side, so we'll credit it to account model TAN 3090. So with that, we'll close off account semasa Perkongsi, transfer everything to account model. Right? So reduces TAN's account model by 3,090. Okay, so this is a double entry for account model TAN. Account semasa TAN originally has a baki bawah-bawah on the debit side. That means TAN has taken more from the partnership. Okay, so to close this account semasa, we credit account semasa Perkongsi TAN and debit account modal TAN. This will reduce the modal by TAN in the partnership. We close off account semasa Perkongsi because this Perkongsian will be dissolved, bubarkan. It will no longer exist. So everything in account semasa transferred to account modal. Same for SITA. SITA has account semasa on a baki bawah credit side. So we close off account semasa SITA by debiting in account semasa to credit. So this is a double entry. So everything in account semasa Perkongsi is settled now, all transferred to account modal. Okay, let's look at bank. We have the bank credit balance. Get ready first is an overdraft. So account bank 2020 July 31st. Sabaki credit 3954, right? Sabaki credit because it's a liability semasa. That means there's a bank overdraft. All right. Account belum bayar, right? We get a discount of 140 discount diterima. So they issue check of 12,960 ringgit. So we can credit here first, right? For account belum bayar. Belum bayar. We can credit here 12,960. At this particular point, it's a bit odd how to pay. They don't have a debit balance for on. When we finish on 31st July, we'll see that they will have enough funds to pay. So we are only starting off, but not to miss out this information, right? Not to miss out this information, they pay to account belum bayar with a discount. Discount diterima will be credited right, in the account realisasi. So 2020, July 31st. So discount diterima from account belum bayar. So it's 140. So this is from. So the double entry is the account belum bayar will have a debit from account realisasi 140. In the account belum bayar, you will also have a debit of 12,960 from the bank. But we don't have to show account belum bayar, it's not required in the question. The double entry is in this company, the account belum bayar, just to show you. There's a liability here, right? The baki bawah for account belum bayar. That is 13,100. So with the payment received from the bank, this amount, the double entry is 12,960. And with the discount diterima, discount received 140. Now this account belum bayar is settled. Right? Discount belum bayar is settled, fully paid off, no longer exists. All fully paid off. Okay, so this is not required in the question. This is just for a discussion to show you that the double entry is happening when it's paid to the bank, when the discount diterima, discount received. With this one, the account balance buyer is fully settled. Okay, so this blue color one, we need not show in the answer. It's just for explanation. Okay, this one a bit odd, since they have bank overdraft, how come they have the money to pay the creditors, account balance buyer? Hang on there. We are just starting off. You will see that they will have sufficient funds. There are a lot of other things happening on 31st July. So we'll look at that one by one. Okay. So maklumat tambahan one. Just now we were running through these penyata kedudukan keuangan. We have the balances transferred. All right. We try to resolve this one, this particular item. Now we look at the additional information, maklumat tambahan. Inventory diambil alih oleh Perkongsian pada nilai 7,500. So over here, you will have a debit because Tan take from the business. So there will be a debit from the realisasi referring to the inventory. And the amount taken by Tan, the inventory value is 7,500. Okay. So in realisasi, there will be a credit, modal Tan. That's for the inventory taken by Tan at 7,500. Okay, so that's maklumat tambahan. The first one. Perbelanjaan pembubaran 1,260 dibayar menggunakan cek. Okay, so realisasi, account realisasi will receive a check from bank 1,260. So once again, there will be a credit here to account realisasi for belanja pembubaran 1,260. So hang on there. We will have some more entries on 31st July with sufficient funds to pay. So hang on there. At this point, it may appear odd now, no money, how to pay. We are settling a lot of things on 31st July. Let's finish off first. Number 3, we have solved that. We attended to that, entry done. Logi dan mesin dijual pada harga 61,900. Okay, there you go. So realisasi will have to pay for logi dan mesin to the bank. Okay, so there we will have credit. This is for logi dan mesin. Dijual pada harga 61,900. So hereby we'll debit the dissolution on 31st July and they received from realisasi for the sale of Logi the machine, which is the 61,900. Okay, so it appears more natural now. They do have the funds to pay. So some more. Account belum terima Jane sebanyak dianggap sebagai hutang lapor. Account belum terima lain dijelaskan menggunakan cek. So again, they will receive check for account belum terima. Account realisasi will credit, will debit to bank. Realisasi. So it's for account belum terima. So you have to write out in full if it's your exam. Don't use ABT, write in full. So the amount received will be only 16,880 because there is bad debts hutang lapor. So debit 16,880. Okay, so credit account realisasi, retail bank, this is for the account belum terima. So in the exam, you have to spell out in full. Do not write this short form. 16,880. Okay. So more or less, we have settled all these transactions. We have recorded everything. So let's try to post the account realisasi, see whether it's an untung or rugi realisasi. Sum up the debit side with your calculator. See what have you got over here on the debit side. Do you get 81240? Jot down in pencil on your answer script. And then on the credit side, sum up, see how much have you got on the credit side. You get 86420. So this account must balance at 86420. Okay, so what the realisasi has debited is 81240, lesser than what the realisasi has paid. So in this case, there's a untung realisasi. Gain on the dissolution. So untung of how much? The difference between 86420 minus 81240 is 5,180. This is the untung realisasi. So this one will be apportioned to Sita and Tan following the ratio. Sita is 3/5. Tan is 2/5. So following this ratio, modal Sita will receive an amount of 5180 times 3/5. We receive an amount of 31808. Modal Tan will get a 2 out of 5. Modal Tan will be 2072. So we will credit to account modal Sita and modal Tan accordingly for untung realisasi. So Sita and Tan 2072. Okay, so with that, we can now check how much should be paid back to Sita and Tan from the bank account. Okay, so if you sum up the debit side of the bank account, what do you get? Total up the debit side of the bank account. Do you get 78780? Right, if you total up the credit side of the bank account, how much do you get? You get 18170. You jot down your pencil first. Okay, so it means there are cash in the bank, and when the partnership is dissolved, bubarkan, this cash in the bank must return to the partners. How much to return to each of them? We're coming close to that. Let's balance the account model. So sum up here. the credit side for SITA, 44128. So let's check here. SITA has given so far resources from SITA is 44,128. So when it is dissolved, SITA should receive this much payment from the partnership for 4128. Then only can close out modal SITA. Okay, so sum up done. How much has done contributed to the partnership? Sum up this amount, 27072. So it goes at 227,072 ringgit. So Tan has taken from the business. So the amount that needs to be returned to Tan is going to be 27072 minus 3,090 and minus 7,500. So 27,072 ringgit minus 3,090 and minus 7,500. It is going to be 16,482. The partnership has to return this amount to SITA and TAN respectively. So when we check the account bank, it should be able to tally. Okay, so this is debit side. Let's balance at the greater value, 78784. Okay, so what's left in the bank account? They have paid this much, right? Total paid was 18,170. So 78,780 minus 18170. The cash still in the bank is 60,610. So let's see if the amount that should be paid to SITA and TAN, these two in yellow, does it sum up to 60,610? So let's add up these two with your calculator. Okay, 44128 at 16482. It is 60,610. It does tally. So the bank, the partnerships bank, just before they close their partnership, we have to pay to modal SITA 44128 and pay to modal TAN 16482. 16482. And with that, the bank account will close off nicely. Bank account of partnership no longer exists. Let's sum up the bank account. You add up this, and it's fully paid. So these two will just tally nicely, and the partnership is dissolved now. No more asset and no more bank. Everything returned to the two partners from the bank account.